Put our labels up.
And are we live?
Yes,
Oh
we're
yes,
live.
and we are back. Been a 2 week, well, a little bit 2 week layover because we had a event last weekend. But how's it going? This is Andre Sanders out of here in Jacksonville, Florida, with the rest of my Overcoming the Odds panel. We just got back from a company event here last week from Vegas. Whether we're there live or via live stream, we just wanted just to share what we had got from experience too. Because when you go to company events, uh, new intentions are set, new commitments are also set as well. And as Napoleon Hill mentioned in Think and Grow Rich, when you have a major definite purpose, you have something to basically shoot for. So I'm not going to go any further until we introduce ourselves. So Ian, go ahead and get started, man.
I'm not sure whether you said Ian or Neil, so I'm going to speak
Ian.
because no one
Yeah,
else
yeah.
spoke. Yeah, hey, I'm Ian from the UK as well, and coming in from Mars, I think this week. I'm not sure why my screen's all red, but bear with me. It's all good. So, yeah, speaking about events and stuff, and it doesn't matter where you are in the world when you got to find some sort of way to get to events, and at least we're all able to manage to do this and coming together and speaking about what we've got from this. Yeah, it should be fun and interesting this week.
Go ahead, Neil.
Hey guys, my name's Neil Henson. I'm residing in the UK, like Ian, just across the pond from Patricia and Andre. And yeah, events absolutely change your life. So it's something that is an absolute must. And like Ian just mentioned, we get people travelling from all over the world to come to these events, and honestly, see the change in people at events it is honestly magical. You just see one transformation. And speaking from actual personal experience, the first event I actually went to a little bit earlier on this year, it started. I met one woman. Her name was Carrie, and she actually brought her 13-year-old son. And at the start of the event, he actually said that he didn't believe in this, didn't believe in the company. He didn't understand why his mum was there or anything like that. And within 3 days, I'm not joking, he said he was going home and he was actually going to get started, because it was just something within that event that just triggered, and it just gave him belief, and that's what events are all about. So it just gives you a whole different perspective, and it just helps you move on for the next 90 days. So yeah, that's my brief bit on events, and it's something that I definitely recommend to anyone to make sure you get to the next one.
And we have one last person to introduce herself.
It's me. Sorry, guys, I was a little distracted there. I'm Patricia Henry, and I live in the desert, Victorville, California, which was not too far from the event. I was able to drive where it was, and I had some friends that came to stay at my house. One thing I like about events is connecting, networking, and of course, being in this company for a while, I have met women who happen to be on a team called the Superwomen team, and we some of them met at my house, and then they drove there. I went a couple of days after they did, but that's one thing that I love about this getting together for events, meeting people, like-minded people. So, like I said, I'm Patricia Henry, and it's nice to whoever's popping on this webinar to get some great value out of why we go to events.
All right, now to set the stage a little bit more so, because I always love uh, talking about this guy. If you have not heard so, Robert Kiyosaki. This is his third book in his Rich Dad series of books, Rich Dad and Rich Dad Investing. But something that his rich dad told him several years ago, many years ago. Your brain can be your most powerful asset, but if not used properly, it can be your most powerful liability. Why did I mention that too? Because that was one thing that we were building, was our own asset. We're building our own mindsets, building pretty much our own core values to go into our company event. It's always, like I mentioned earlier, new intentions, new commitments are always set when you go to company events. Obviously, too, and it should be for all home-based business professional events. I don't know if it is, but I know just for ours too, we always work on the transformations on the inside to work on the transformations on the outside, because it really starts pretty much with you before we can start talking about other things, talk about incomes, talk about going and helping out other people. You got to have a change yourself big time. I mentioned Think and Grow Rich from Napoleon Hill. Go click the link below. It says your free download, because that'll be your ebook, so you can read that too. You can see some of the success principles and the concepts used in building not so much a business, but also helping build it yourself too. Because I know there have been people that had some true testimonials on just building themselves too. Perfect example, coming from this past event, there was a couple people that I noticed from the last event when we were in Nashville that you could tell this by their demeanor it changed. Now it should feel like a family reunion. You go to events such as these, because you get to recognize people. Since we all build our business online, it's really the only time you get to see somebody in person, besides maybe a video, pictures on Instagram or Facebook or Twitter or however you go. So it's pretty cool to actually go get to meet different people to see some of the strategies they're using as well as far as building a business. But again, this is relate to people. And I know we've had a couple of people here on the panel that were doing a live stream, but I know with Patricia and I, we noticed too, pretty much from this past event, there's a lot of the families. And I thought it was pretty cool, because I hope that's your why. If you are building a business, if you have a family, married, in a relationship, have kids, and that's one thing I noticed with some of the speakers bringing up their better halves to some of the stage. Not all of them, but they were just recognizing the better halves. So that's just something I just wanted this to share. I don't know if it doesn't matter, since whether we were seeing it live or via the live stream, what you guys took as well from this past event.
Yeah. I mean, speaking from again from experience, watching it on the live cast, it was it was brilliant to watch. But no doubt, it's always different when you're actually in the room, and that's the other thing as well. It's like, the one thing I did like about being able to watch it on the webcast was the fact that I could actually get everything down. When I was at the event, I don't know why, I couldn't actually manage to write everything down. I got myself organised, and I made mountains of notes. And they say you've got enough now to keep you going for the next 90 days. Well, I honestly, I think now I've got a little bit more than that, to be honest. I've got so much learned just from this last event that I'm just ready to get going. I think that I could go a little bit beyond 90 days. I think I could get going for the next 180 days, and I still wouldn't be able to apply everything that I've learned. And that's the other thing as well. You go there thinking, I just want to learn this one thing, but then you get involved with all these successful people who are talking about what they're doing and how they're building their business, and you just think, you know what, that's a good idea. And you go away with, don't get me wrong, there's so much there to apply, and you're really going to have a struggle to apply absolutely everything, but you just go away with what you want to focus on. So there's a whole array of different marketing tactics you can use, whether it's Facebook, YouTube, blogging, whatever it is you want to do. But all we would encourage you to do is, if you wrote down 1, 2, 3 strategies at most, and say, right, these are what I'm going to run with, I'm going to get consistent with this, I'm going to get results from this, then I'm going to think about moving on to other things. Because, like I said, there's so many different ways to market nowadays. It's unbelievable when every single person is making money from a different one, whether it's Pinterest, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, blogging, doesn't matter. So you can make money from every single one of them, but if you try all of them at once, it's a struggle. So make sure that, like I say, I got a whole lot of information, and it's going to take me a long time to apply it all, but that is purely because there's so much to apply, because there's so many different platforms to use as well. So make sure that when you do actually apply things, you're consistent with it, because that is the absolute key to any success you're going to have.
Yeah, consistency. It's the be all and end all, and when you have that drive to go out and take that action, because that's when you get to the event, it's like you're around the people and you become the average of the 5 people you spend your most time with. That's it, period. So it's like if you see people and leaders who are people that you're looking to become and looking to model, then you got to be at events. You just got to be. And the thing about the live stream is, it's like, what I took away from it anyway is, like, you go to events and everything's like you're all on a massive high and like it seems like when I'm talking about my experience now, like when I go to events, it's like I feel like I'm looking to create like some sort of, like, people go to events looking for a breakthrough. What I find is, like, I'm going to an event and like I'm looking to create a breakthrough. I'm not looking to do it for myself. I'm looking to do it for the people that I'm connecting with, the people that we're a part of, because we're all in this together as a team, and it's about lifting each other up, and it's not about being the one. What's that expression? The elephant in the room? It's probably not the elephant in the room, but that expression where it's like you don't want to be the odd one out. You want to, you get to events and it's just so awesome because you get, we're all here there to inspire and lift each other up, and that energy is just unbelievable. And like you get on a live stream and it's like, there's pros and cons to each. People say that you got to be in the event to get in the room, but like, you get on the live stream and you can take away so many personal breakthroughs from that you can apply into your own life, take responsibility for your own destiny, and then you can go out then when you lift yourself up to a level. You can lead by example, and it inspires so many more people to go out when you share your story and move forward that way. I'm not sure I shared that. I just wanted to get that off my chest today, and like, yeah. You become the average of the 5 people you spend your most time with, and when you get to an event, it's like you get to the event and it's all like you come out and you're like, come on, I can do this and all this, and then you get back and it's like you're taking action now, taking that consistent action, and it's like what's stuck. We get to an event and it's like we sometimes our like story of how things can be can like change. That mental like story we're telling ourselves, it's like, because maybe we've learned a new strategy, or maybe we've found the secret that we're going to start, doing something a little bit different, and that story within ourselves changes, and it's like, right, I can do this now, I know this now, I can go out and do it. Well, you're taking action on that, you're taking consistent action, and we'll see, won't we? We'll see.
That's a good point. That's a good point, Ian. Because that's the only thing too. That's the main thing about events is where you're all fired up or whatever. Like I always joke around too, because I've been playing semi-pro football for a few years. I always joke around like I can come at an event and play the game immediately as soon as we're done. Yeah, it's true. It's true doing so because that's how fired up. But like you said, what are your actions? What are your steps too? We pretty much sharing just bit by bit too. As far as like Ian was saying, as far as like, okay, you learn some of the new strategies too. What other leaders are doing within your company. We also started as far as having your purpose. What's your why? What's your big dream? That's one thing. Those three things the three things I wrote down too from the speakers that got started. Go figure, they were a $1 million earner couple too. But again, when I mentioned those type of results, the results are not typical. So look below at the income disclosure to see more information about that. But they stated as far as your why, getting started. No, your why, big dream, then getting started too. But before you even get started, you got to figure out the first two. Somebody had asked the company, the owner of our company, as far as like, how do they get motivated? How does one get motivated as far as building a business, appearing online? They would mention straight off the bat. He's like, well, really, I can't do that for you. That's something you have to really look into yourself. It's like, okay, why did you join this in the first place? There's a reason why, too. You can't just say, I'm trying to figure out what's my why and passion. No, there was a reason why you decided to join, decided to click the link, decided to go and just fill in your credit card information as far as joining a business online. There is a reason why. There's either something to do better, to help out family, to obviously help out finances. There is that reason why, but you got to really look deep into that core, and that's the reason why we got the suggestion as far as going picking up your free ebook below and reading through Think and Grow Rich. Because before we even talk about Think and Grow Rich, the Grow Rich part, you got to talk about the very first part, which is think, which is seriously, what is it that you're trying to go for? What is it, something that's really in that back of mind? It's that burning desire that you want. There is something, too. Don't worry about hiding that, because just let it out. That's one thing that we get from events as well, too, as far as just being more transparent, just throwing it out there. I know I was asked from the CEO of our company one time as far as what was I was going to do, take this from the last weekend out to, and that's just basically being more transparent, putting myself more so out there. But for example, Periscope has probably been the social media tool you can't be camera shy as far as doing live videos. I've done over 60 of those things. I've been off about 3 or 4 weeks. So basically, I'm doing one a day. But I don't mind putting myself out there. So if somebody comes on live, because that's what people do. They come on live and they can comment or whatever. That doesn't bother me. But also, too, at the same time, not to go away from what was up my other stream, doing YouTube videos. Because guess what? Those can stay on for several years. And you can still attract more views to that. So that's just, again, keeping it simple was the one thing that I know I took as well, too. And Ian brought up a good point as far as, hey, not worrying about the breakthrough, but I'm going to create my own breakthrough. That's a very, very good point as well, too. Just wanted to share that as well. So go ahead, Patricia. What else did you learn yourself, too, from the events this past weekend? Psst, unmute yourself. Psst, Patricia, unmute yourself. This is a great pattern interrupt. Now that you have your attention, now you can go. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, sorry about that. Now that I've gone to an event, of course, I take tons of notes and everything. And you know me, I'm good for taking notes and list building and things like that to highlight. Because at the events, paying attention and having a notepad, like what we had said the prior hangout that we did, there was a list of things that I highlighted that we should remember to do and bring and all that. But, taking notes, there's so much information. I think yesterday I got an email, or day before, that said to fill, it was a survey about the event, how we liked it. And the survey had like 29, 30 speakers on, including the main speaker we know is David Wood, the owner of the company, and everything. And I went, wow, 29 speakers. So if you're not taking notes and getting the little tidbits of what each speaker is saying, then going to the event is moot. It's not going to benefit you, because actually the stories that they share are personalized. Every single one is different. Every single one can help someone else. If you can't relate to it, you can still use those stories to put on a blog. Like you said, your notes, the speaker before the last event, who was it? I believe Mike Cobb said that your notes are cash, like money in the bank, because you can use it, like I said, for information, to put on a blog, and once you share that, you never know how someone else is going to relate to it. Like this morning, I spent 2 hours with someone on the phone who will probably join my business, which I'm hoping that he will. But he has a rock bottom story, and it's like, I want to help him, and I know this business can help him. And he already has a business, but like most people, they're looking for other avenues to make money. And just my brain going back to some of the stories, especially of a man. It happens to be a man that I was talking to today, and he might be on listening, so I don't want to reveal his struggles, but I'm just remembering who all gave speeches and talks about their story, about how they lost their business. They went bankrupt. They had an accident. They lost, like I said, they lost their businesses, or whatever it was, that they had to rise from the ashes. And the name of our event was Rise. And this is something that we could relate to the other people that we're trying to help, to know that they're not desperate, that they don't have to like bury themselves in their troubles, that there is a way for them to get out of what they're going through. So that's one of the things I got out of it. There's many more, so I'll let someone else talk about something else, but that's just one.
No, you're right, and going to events, I think, like you say, if you've got, coming back to what Andre says, if you've not got the right mindset, you're not going to take away the right stories and the right noticed, and there's a lot of things you need to go in there, like I said, with the right mindset, because if you just go in there thinking that, you know, I can't do this and anything like that, you're going to be so focused on the negativity that you're not going to see the opportunities that are around you. And, you know, if you think and look at I'm not going to say every single person, but every single successful person that I've actually read about has come through struggles. You know, if we talk about our founder of the company that we're in, he lived in the back of a van when he first got started. And
that's
you know,
what I told this person. I told him he was living in a van and got a ticket for $67 or something in Hawaii that, you know, he could not afford. I mean, that was, I think he had a few more dollars left, and that was it, right? So
that was his last lot. Yeah. And then this you know, one of my mentors, his name is Mike Hobbs, and he actually went to a store to buy food for his family. So he's got, I think he's got 5 kids now. I don't know if the one's either due or it's pretty much being born now. But, you know, he had a few kids. Going back a few years when he first got involved in this company, he had 2, 3 kids. He went to the grocery store to buy food for them. Now, this is not something that you can put off. Obviously, you need food every single day. So when he went to the store, he tried 3 different credit cards. Every single one of them were declined. He had to go home saying, sorry, honey, couldn't buy you any food. You know, this is where he started, but this is what it takes. You know, some people say, I'll do it later, I'll do it later, I'll do it later. But, you know, when you hit a point where it becomes a must because you are so desperate, or you just think, you know what, I've had enough of this. You know, maybe you're at a point where you're not desperate, but you just hit a point where, you know what, I can't take this anymore. I need to make a change. And that's the part where you go in and just think, open mind, I don't care what it takes. I am prepared to try absolutely anything. And when someone comes to you and says, you know what, this is what I'm doing to have success, regardless of what your thoughts are on it, you're determined to make a change, you will make that change and you will give anything a try. So anything that you previously wouldn't have tried, you would now try because you want to try something different. You're prepared to take whatever you can to get started. And if you've got somebody coming up to you and saying, I'm doing this and here's my results, you'd be stupid to actually say, you know what, that doesn't work. Because the fact is, it does work, but so many people seem to think that if I just get started, I can be successful by tomorrow, I can be successful by next week. And it just doesn't work that way. Consistency is key. You have to be consistent. You can't try one blog post and make money by tomorrow. You can't record one video and make $1 million by tomorrow. It doesn't work that way. I've just got started reading the book. Now, I've only literally got a few pages into it, but the intro actually said something to me, and that was the research that he put into the actual book. I'll find the book in a minute to say the actual name. In fact, that says How to Influence People, and I think it's How to Make Friends and Influence People. I think that's the actual title of the book. But in there, he says how he paid someone to go out and research human behavior. And he didn't say just go out there and talk to a few people. He sent somebody out there to learn for 1.5 years before he even went out to even think about getting started. I think in total, 15 years of research just before he even wrote a book. So you talk about wanting to make money now, 15 years of saying, you know what, this is what I'm going to do, because he was so focused on making that book absolutely everything that it could possibly be. And he put 15 years, and I don't even want to say how many people got involved in it, but 15 years of research to make that book appeal to basically, I'm not going to say to everyone, but to make a compelling story about how to truly do it. And obviously you're talking about human people, so you need to get in depth in it. But like I said, 15 years. So when you're talking about saying, I want to make money now, I appreciate that, but it takes time. So it's not to say you can't make money today. I'm not saying that's not possible. It is possible. But if you don't make money today, don't think that it's not possible, because like I say, you think about any single successful person. Ray Higdon, another mentor of mine, started off in foreclosure. He's now a multimillionaire. The founder of our company started off in the back of a van. One of our mentors, Mike Hobbs, he started off, he actually had his credit cards declined. I could go on and on and on. Every single one of these started off from somewhere at a point where it's like, you know what, I can't turn back, and I won't turn back because I can't. It's literally back against the wall. I need to make this change. And that's the shift that you need to have. And unfortunately, to some people, it is at a point where they cannot physically do anything else but take the chance. What we're saying is, if you want to take the chance, you just got to switch your mindset and say, you know what, I'm going to go with this. I'm going to give 90 days. I'm not saying 90 days to see success. I'm saying just focus purely for 90 days, nothing else. One thing, get it done, whatever it takes, and see what happens in 90 days. And you'll be astounded with the results. And like I say, our founder, results are not typical. He made $45,000 in 90 days. Now, again, I'm not going to say for 1 second that that is what you're going to make. I'm not going to say that's, I'm not going to guarantee anything here. We can't do that because this is down to your results and how much action you're prepared to take. But that's how much action he took, and that is how much that is what his result was. And obviously, from then on, he's gone on and on and on and on. So it is possible. But all you've got to do is just put the blinkers on, not pay attention, no distractions, no negativity. I'm going to do this. That is it. Let's move forward. And that's the vision you've got to have, the dedication you've got to have, and just whatever it takes. So, but it is possible. That's all I'm going to say to you. Just keep going, no matter what it takes. If this is what you truly want, you put everything else aside and say, you know what, let's go. Let's move forward.
I got to mention something as well, too, because on top of that, when we're talking about some of the people in our company, we have another person who was the founder of our system that we use, iPass, as well. His name is Chris Jones. Same thing, $1 million earner. His results weren't typical as well. But when he first got started working online, if I'm not mistaken, I think 9, maybe almost close to 10 years ago, he was the person that was reading, I kid you not, a book, Websites for Dummies, read the first 3 pages and threw it in the trash. And he said, man, forget this. Now, obviously, here he is, founder of our system, and it's the checkout, too, once you do click the link, too, Bypass 2, and that part would be the success formula. I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's $47 for helping build better brand your business before we start talking about other business as well, and basically in the back end in that sense. But in short too, that just tells you as far as where some people come from too, it doesn't really matter. I know I'm following somebody as well who's good friends with Mike Collins, Paul Hutchings. This man started a single wide trailer. He stopped his job because he was building his business at the time. This is a few years ago too, another home-based business company a few years ago. But he wasn't bringing in the money to help support the family, and one of his kids at the time needed to have a $50,000 surgery done. So I mean, that just tells you as far as where some people come from too. I remember I heard this from long ago too, from a past company I was part of before it shut down a few years ago. The only 2 reasons why people get started in building a business or doing a business in general is either inspiration or desperation. Now obviously too, this is one thing too. Another thing, a couple of things I picked up from the event. Change your mind and attitude, but not your dreams. Napoleon Hill mentioned that as well too. If I'm not mistaken, not so much in Think and Grow Rich, but in his other book, The Master Key to Riches, as far as if you got the plan to set up to, as far as you definitely made your purpose. If you don't hit it within that plan, the dream doesn't stop. You still keep on going. That's what we mentioned earlier too. As far as somebody would ask, man, it's like I got in, but it's like I don't know why I'm doing this. No, there's a reason why. You really got to go dig deep into doing so as well. Because I mean, don't change that dream or whatever. Of course, you're gonna have people, be negative or whatever, or however have you. That's why you go to company events to pretty much reprogram that mindset, because what the world's telling you is saying otherwise too. They're basically drifters. They don't know where they're going with their life too. But when you hang around like-minded people, they're going to uplift you too, and you're going to be ready to just basically go on attack. One of the movies I love watching too came out a couple years ago, the first Avengers movie, and I know Captain America told Iron Man, he's like, man, we need a plan to attack. This is what Iron Man's response was. I got a plan. Attack. But you have that once you have your definite major purpose set up. Then you can go and attack. Because then when you come to company events, and this is another thing I got as well, you're one thought away from changing your life. You are. I heard this from a millionaire too. I heard this from a millionaire as well. Yeah, you're one idea away from being a millionaire. That's true. But again, find out what your purpose is. We cannot even start talking about strategies or whatever unless you find out, okay, why are you doing this and what's your big dream? You have to find out those first 2 before we talk about getting started. This is what it is. We don't want people to kind of be like, no, okay. Once you find out what you want, what will that do for you? seriously got to think about that. I mean, this being the bottom line. I mean, I'm not trying to be as straight up as we can with you as well before we start talking about the particular strategies. Yeah, we can go on and on and on and on, and that would be for later down the road too. But right now, as far as like taking the action, as far as with coming out of a company event, those are the main ones. Again, what is your why? What's your purpose? And what's your dream?
Well, that's interesting, Andre, because people have to realize that they need to invest in themselves. So what does that mean? You have to find value in yourself first and foremost, because then you can go ahead and find your real intentions. Everybody has an intention. They want to make money, and some people want to be rich, right? Well, we know that a lot of people finding out with the leaders that get on stage that, of course, they're making money, and income disclaimer again, Anna and Alex and Anna Zubaroff, they got up on stage and were recognized and awarded for making the $1 million or over $1 million, and they got their rings for that. So, what is our intentions? But they're there, really, they tell you to help themselves, but really to help others, because without others they would not be where they are. And then customize it, customize the event, customize your dreams. What is it? There's 4 people on the panel. Again, we've all gone into our whys on some other hangouts that we don't have to really reiterate them right now, but as people do watch our hangouts, they'll find out what our whys are. So going to these events really solidifies all of those things for each and every one of us. And again, I have to bring out networking. If you're just sitting in your room or cubicle or at work, and you're never surrounding yourself with people who have a positive mindset in going forward to achieving their dreams, and you don't get around them, you wouldn't know what strategies they've used. You wouldn't know what kind of struggles they went through to get where they are. So, and it really builds you up to hear somebody's dreams as well. So for me, going to the events again, it really helped me. I have to admit, I did miss Friday, so I didn't get to hear a lot of the speakers that Friday and their stories, but some of them, of course, I do know from prior events, and every time I listen to them, sometimes I have to take a tissue, I start crying because I'm so emotionally fixed on their stories. And I remember also on that survey it said, pick one speaker that really impressed me. Well, to tell you the truth, I have to give accolades to every single one of them, and that's the note that I put on the survey, because they're all different, they're all unique, and I could relate to every single one of them. Of course, some more than others, but for them to get up there and tell their stories to help us, I think that's so endearing, because one day we'll be up there. No, I'm not going to try to be up there. Try is a dirty word, as we know. I'm going to be up there. So that's my focus. That's my goal. If they can do it, I can do it.
Yeah, you're right. And that's the thing as well. Because I was speaking to a couple of people on Facebook. I think it was either earlier on today or yesterday. And when I was speaking to them, they were telling me about how they wanted to do things with their life and this and that. And I said, okay, well, if there was one thing that I could help you with, what was it that you would want to do? And every single one of them would respond to basically say, I want to make more money. And that's usually the default reason why people get started. Now, again, I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. I'm just saying that's automatic. That's your front thing. I used to say that all the time when I first got started. But, as Andre said, you've got to get to your core reason why. What is that money going to get you? If we took money and time out of the equation, what would you do on a day-to-day basis? Would you spend more time with your family? Would you go see the world? Whatever it is, that is your reason why you're doing this, and money will get you to that. So, like I say, my reason, I would ultimately like to stop at home and look after my 2 nieces. I've actually, the other one was born yesterday, so I've now got 2 nieces, and You know, by the end of this year, I aim to be full-time in my business, so I can look after them full-time whilst the parents go out and work. So it not only helps me because I get to spend my day with my nieces, but my brothers and their partners can also then go out and not have to worry about childcare, and also having their children brought up by a stranger. You know, I want to be there for my nieces, but it also helped my family too. But that's my reason why. So yes, you know, I want to make more money, don't get me wrong, but money is a means to an end. Money will get you to where you want to go. So be more clear what you want, whether you want to see the world, whether you want to treat your family, retire a spouse. That's your reason why you want the money. So don't say, I want more money. We all want more money. You could go out there to a millionaire, a billionaire, and say, do you want more money? 99% of the time, they're going to say yes. So we all want more money regardless. It's what you're going to do with that money is what you ultimately want. So be more clear, and this will also help you with your focus, because that's another thing. We spoke about this in another event about shiny ball syndrome, about the distractions that you face, and that's another problem. Consistency is key. You get distracted easily because your focus is only on the money, whereas if your focus was more about what your money is going to get you, I want to be free, and you align yourself with a vision of what you want to do, when you see someone speak that vision, you're drawn to it, and that is what you go for, and that's the direction you go in. You stick with that because you know you're now around the right person, shares your vision. You're aiming for the right goals, and it will just work for you because you're focusing on your vision rather than the money. Because if you go on the internet and say, I want to make more money, how many products are you going to be able to find out there that are going to say, I can show you how to make more money? One way or another, they're going to say, I can make you more money. There's millions, I'm probably going to say billions. So, you know, be a bit more clear about what you want and strive for it. And you know what Ian was mentioning earlier about being the shiny person in the room, and I think I actually heard it on one of the training videos I was listening to a little bit earlier. It's rather than being the shiny star in the sky and the person that stands out, you want to be the star that lights up the sky. So you light up everybody that's around you, and that is ultimately what I'm all about. So, you know, if anybody that decides to join me, you know, I will do whatever I can to help you get to where it is you want to go. But the first thing I will ask anybody is, what do you want to do? That is the first thing I'm going to ask you, and I have no doubt that that'll be the same with almost anybody that you want to work with, because before we know how to help you, we need to know what you want to do, because that is ultimately what is going to take you in the direction you want to go. So, you know, that's just my little piece. But like I said, all I'm going to say is be more clear about what you want, because money is the starting point. It's what gets you to where you want to go.
Yeah, that's true as well, because going back again to what we just witnessed in this past event. We have another leader too within our company who's from Portugal. I know he's another $500,000 earner. Again, his results not typical. So again, go down to our income disclosure below to see the information about that. But one thing that he was working on too was obviously working for a better way as well too. If you pay attention to what sometimes when Ian talks as well too, but in past hangouts or down the road as well, it's almost like what Eric Worre says too, who's basically almost like the Napoleon Hill for the network marketing profession. He always ends as far as it's a stone cold fact that we have a better way. We're talking about the profession as far as the network marketing profession. One thing too with Silvio and his team is after they helped themselves too, what do you think? What did they do with the money? Look what his team was doing. I know you guys watching live didn't see, but they were taking out the money they were using, giving it back to feeding, I think, kids in some countries in Africa, if I'm not mistaken. Something like that. I know personally too. The reason why I joined this profession in the first place was to play football professionally, whether it be arena or play football overseas too. I could have been gone and done so. The reason why I didn't want to pull that trigger because after I educated myself more so as far as what this profession can do for me, I wanted to basically have better cash flow coming in per month, so I have to worry about coming back when I'm done with the season, whatever, looking for a job. Want to have my own time freedom as well. I know something me and I were talking about a few months ago as far as since I was mentioning as far as charities, because Robert Kiyosaki mentioned one of his books, Rich Team, Poor Team, as far as having 3 simple investments: 1 for savings, 2 for investments, 3 for charities. And I know Ian basically, and this is not a bad way, in a good way. So okay, well, what do you do for our charities? Well, since I know what football has done for me, so I've been playing it since high school, played college as well. I'd like to do something as far as having some money give away to like Pop Warner teams and youth football teams here in Jacksonville. You know, some of the programs here, and then eventually branch out to most of them, and then also to high schools down the road. That's something I like to do as well too. So it's not so much when somebody says something about money too. Yeah, you need the money to be honest. I'll be honest with you, do anything. But that's as far as like what we want to do with the money down the road. You know, that's just giving an example too. As far as like, okay, this is what they're going to do with the money. Yeah, of course, have your own house too. Eventually, maybe branch out, learn how to do some real estate as well. Because now, in a sense, it's like even though it's a whole different another industry with real estate. One thing I noticed reading some of Kiyosaki's books is like, well, you fix up houses doing well, not yourself. Obviously, you having to educate yourself and get smart people around you or people to work for you to help better up those houses. Now you're giving homes to families that need them, you know, whether it be apartments or houses. Just kind of opens up your perspective when you actually sit down and educate yourself. And as far as, you know, reading some of the books too, personal development, as far as where that takes you. Basically, my point is your why starts to expand too once you educate yourself daily. That's the reason why you got to go and go back to number one, figure out what that why is. Because, I mean, I'll tell you, simple thing as far as taking the action is one thing that I know, again, took out of this event, you find one strategy and you master it. It can be Facebook, Instagram, I mentioned the new app Periscope, the list goes on and on and on and on and on. Find one thing and master that for 90 days, and I promise you you'll be a lot better person than we were the previous 90 days. Something just want to mention with you guys.
Mhm. Yeah, so when we have a business, it's great because we can accomplish so many different things that we can't accomplish otherwise, having a 8-hour job stuck in a cubicle making no money, you know. So we appreciate the fact that we can be online entrepreneurs, and of course there's a learning curve. Now that we have a new product out, we're going to be at home watching those new products and learning what we have to do to take our businesses to the next level. So we're talking about an action plan now. We need an action plan to sit down and do that, you know, free up the time to learn how to do these new things. And I'm so glad that the teams now are going to be all one. And for me, again, events, the unity that we have with events, this is just solidifying what I've always thought all along, because in our company we've had, you know, different teams and each team has a different strength. Well, it's just like a body. You know, we use that example that the Apostle Paul used in the Bible, you know, about a body. The head can't say, oh, well, feet, I don't need you, and feet don't say, arm, I don't need you, or eyes, I don't need the head. You know, we need all parts of it, and for being successful, we have to move in the same path together as one. And now with this implementing this new features that they're doing, it's going to take us to the next level. Just like I told someone, if you had children, you might have a favorite children, but a parent is not supposed to have that. All children, if they're theirs, you know, treat them equally. So we want all people to be successful. Again, it's up to them to click that link below and get started. You know, you can't drive a vehicle if you're not sitting in the front seat at the wheel. Okay? So back to the family situation and the children, you want all of those children to succeed, because if all of us succeed, you know, if we're splintered up from one team and another team, and that team is doing well and the other one isn't doing well, or the members aren't doing well, we want to lift each other up so we can all reach those financial goals. Like we said, money is not important, but money makes the world go round. We need it. We have to buy food. We have to pay rent. We need medical bills. And again, jobs aren't cutting it anymore. We have people who, I mean, my husband has a job for he's been on it for over 35 years now. And those kind of companies are rare. And you guys are young. I'm retired, but you know, I never had a job like that where I could have a long-term job. So people are looking for ways, going on the internet, to make money. And so with our company, the camaraderie, the unity, the oneness, that way the retention will be a lot better. We won't have people dropping out as much. Again, it has to be their effort, of course, to want to stay in the company and make it work for them. But now I think it's going to be a lot better for us. So that's one thing I got out of the event, and I'm very happy for this change.
Yeah, that's it. And being able to stand out in a crowd is that's a skill in itself. And a lot of people, I still see it on Facebook every single day where everybody's just trying to appeal to the mass market and just basically trying to, rather than focusing on one specific niche. This is where I think people go wrong. It's certainly where I went wrong when I first got on. Because what someone said to me is, you don't want to be shouting to the masses. You want to be talking to a specific group. And for the first few years, I honestly I ignored that because I just thought, I don't understand that. Why would you not get more success by shouting out to everyone? I thought, surely if you shout to everyone, then you're going to get more people wanting to come to you rather than talking to 2 or 3 people and who's targeted, who are actually interested in your product. And you still see it now, and you still see it every single time on Facebook where people are constantly just saying, come and join me and this and that. And it's the reason why people have such a bad association with making money online, because they just see it as people just trying to badger them every single day. It's like, come and join me, and they don't realize that being able to speak to your audience is a skill that can be learned, and it's just being able to stand out and doing certain actions that are going to get your people. You'll be able to get their attention by doing the things that you do. You don't have to do anything special to get their attention, because if you're doing that, you're not being you, and it's being you that actually gets their attention because of the vision that you have, or maybe it's a passion that you have. You share a common passion. I always come back to this one thing that always hit home with me. I'm a Forest fan. I'm a football fan. And funnily enough, they were playing a little bit earlier on today. But when I first got started at my current job, I started talking to someone, and I don't even speak to them for 5 minutes. And all it took was for me to say I'm a season ticket holder at Nottingham Forest, and that was it. Me and him would speak and speak and speak, and now we're best friends. But that's all it took. It was just one thing. We worked at the same company, and all right, that doesn't really mean much, but we're both season ticket holders. That's all it took, just one similar thing. So rather than trying to talk to someone about what you think they want to hear, just be yourself and talk about what it is that you want. So what it is that you're striving for, or what it is you're passionate about, what it is you want to do with your time, or if you had all the time in the world, this is what I would do, whether it be travel, climb, spend time with your family, whatever it is you want to do, because those are the people you want to be attracting to in your life, and those are the people who are going to come to you. But that is where you need to start, and that's what we can help you with, because once you learn how to hone in on that target audience, that is another thing that's going to add to your success. Again, success starts with consistency, but you need to be consistent in the right direction. If you're talking about one thing one day and then another thing another day and another thing another day, people are going to look at you and just think, I don't honestly know what this person's about. And that's the part where people automatically shut off, and this is where the barriers go up, because they don't understand who you are as a person. But if you start sharing who you are and you're being consistent with it, and you're not trying to be here, there, and everywhere and appealing to the mass market, you will find that people will come to you and just say, you know what, I love what you do. I've been watching you for weeks, months, however it is. You don't realize that people are watching you on Facebook, and so many people are doing that, and you're just not aware that people are doing that. But if you're consistent in speaking your vision, what it is you want, then enough people will resonate with that, because you're consistent with it. They'll see you're passionate with it, and if they're passionate enough about it too, they will want to be around you, because we all want to be around people that are like ourselves. How many times have you perhaps spoken to someone and realized that you've got nothing in common, and therefore it's just like an awkward silence because you don't actually know what to talk about? And that's the point. You won't want to be around a person that's not like you, because you don't have no interest. Once you find someone that has that one interest that you just share so passionately, it just clicks, and that's it. You just want to be around that person, and it's almost like you've known them for years. And that is, that's for me where you need to start. So consistency and just speaking your mind, just wanting to be whoever it is you want to be. So speak your vision, what it is you want out of life, what it is you would like to do with your life, and you will attract them people in your life, and that's what you want to surround yourself with.
I was gonna, yeah, I will, since I'm kind of going through some of my notes as well from this past event. But I know we had one speaker, another $1 million earner as well within our company. So keep on looking down at income disclosure below. But he says this quote so many times. I've heard it so many times in the events. But you can tell kind of where my mindset is coming from with this. But he said the longest journey is the journey inward. Yeah, again, going back to what we keep on saying as far as trying to figure out, again, those core, what's that core value that's something that you really cherish, that burning desire that you really want to really just basically go and accomplish. And obviously, too, if you were looking for a better way to go and brand yourself, just get a mirror. Go and get a mirror and just look in the mirror. You want some people that are related to you. Kind of going back to what Neil was mentioning, too. It's funny because we talk about just a little bit of a tip as far as, branding ourselves, since we've been mentioning that a little bit, not too much. But some people still have no idea what I do. As far as doing online, all they see is the football pictures, because I've been playing some, like I said, football for the last few years. I've been blessed with the last couple seasons. I won 2 championships. So of course they're seeing the pictures on Facebook like crazy. They're seeing me also too outside of football with some of the Olympic lifting that I do as well too. But then you see a lot of quotes as well, a lot of quotes from books I'm reading as well. It still don't pick up as far as like, okay, what in the world does this guy do? Now I've had some people follow me, and some guys appreciate that as well too from what I'm reading as well. But I mean, you can tell this is pretty much my own niche. It's helping people better the mindset no matter what they're building. The personal development side, because it helped me to win those 2 championships within my team. Now, obviously, you have to go. The results not typical as far as reading a book that will help you win a championship, whatever sport you're playing. But I mean, just being straight up with you, as far as you got to have the right mind, as far as going to take action with that, whatever it is you want. Because Ian is right and Neil is right as far as you got to be consistent once you do take that one action. Because I mean, if you master that too. You fiddle around with that, you're only going to get better. Jim Rome said it so many times. He's like, okay, as far as like in baseball, you keep on striking out, you hit the ball too. I know it's paraphrasing all this, but guess what? You hit 3 out of 10 in baseball. Guess what? You're a multimillionaire. But you're getting better. You're getting better every time, though, with every swing. So just want to throw that out there as well too, because again, you have to go. We keep on. Coming back to this because it's so true before we take that action step too. And then once you do take the action step, go and master that one thing you want to do. There's so many other ones. There's so many. We listed them out as far as we can do as far as to help you better brand yourself online. Find that one and just master that too. And then also too, you're trying to look for, okay, what am I looking for a niche? Just look in the mirror. What is it that you like? And again, it goes back to the core values, what you like. So just putting it out there as well. I know before we started here as well, here live, I know between Neil, Ian, and I, we were talking about, for example, with Instagram. I know, Ian, you do this pretty well too, because I see it on the Facebook as well, as far as, putting yourself out there as well too, getting people thinking. In the background, you're showing your lifestyle too, but at the same time, you're getting your audience thinking. I like that because it works. So I just want to bring it up as well.
Yeah, that's it as well. It's all about curiosity. Getting somebody to be curious enough to want to either talk to you on Facebook or reply to an email that maybe you've sent to them, or maybe it's contact you via the blog. There's like I say, there's a whole array of different marketing tools that we use. But if you market someone and just show them enough to add curiosity, but again, coming back to the point of making sure that you're talking to them in a way that they want, rather than you trying to talk to them about what you think that you should be talking to them about. Be clear about who it is you are, and you will attract that kind of person, and that kind of person is going to be curious enough to click on and want to know what you do because you share that common goal. So at the end of the day, it's just adding curiosity. do something enough times, and people are going to think eventually, you know what? I need to know what this person does, because he's all over Facebook or YouTube, or I see his blogs everywhere. He's just everywhere I look, and I need to know what it is that he's doing, because that's what I want to do. And like I said, people are watching you, whether you know it or not. People are watching you. They just want to see you're consistent enough, because if they don't see you do it every single day, they're not going to be inspired to take action, because they're not going to see any kind of results. Because if you're not consistent, you're not really going to get any result. So you need to just basically, like I say, be clear what you want, start talking that message, attract them kind of people, be consistent in your message. And again, I can't guarantee you're going to get results. Again, the people that are having success are having success because they're consistent. Now, there's no guarantee that you're going to be as successful as them. There's no guarantee that you're going to be successful, unfortunately, at all. But I guarantee you now, if you're not consistent and you don't get started, you're never going to be successful anyway. And the one thing I would hate to look back on my life and say, you know what, I really wish I'd have tried that, because who knows what could have happened now. So don't look back on your life and think, I really wish I'd have tried that, or what if I'd have done that. Don't live life by that. If you want to do something, just get started. All it takes is to make that decision and just get started. Find the people you want to surround yourself with. Ian mentioned earlier, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So spend time with people you want to be around, and you can do that. Look at me, Andre, Patricia, and Ian. We're here every Friday night, regardless, rain or shine. We are here every single week. So, like I say, consistency. We will be here every single week. So, if you want to join us, share your comments below if there's anything that you've enjoyed out of this, or maybe a couple of things. I will be talking about what success means to you. What is it that you actually want to get out of life? What is it that you would like to do with your life? By all means, you can chuck in a few comments below. We'd love to hear what it is that you're trying to aspire to be, and we'll certainly try to help you with that, because, like I say, it all starts with making a choice and making a decision. Make the decision, get started, and just ride with us. And honestly, you will not look back once you have a clear, compelling reason why you're doing this, where you're looking to go. And I'm telling you now, 90 days, you will not recognize your life one bit.
And then, I wanted to say with Ian, he's kind of quiet over there, but with him, again, he came from a farm, being a young boy. Now he's a man, and he could have just stayed in his lifestyle, period. That's it. And not progressed, not moved on, but going to an event, again, he met a whole bunch of people outside of his realm, although he probably knew of course he knew some of them on the internet. That's how he found Empower Network. But then also meeting them. What if he never came? What if he never went to an event? It's nothing like, right, Ian? I mean, you can speak for yourself. It's nothing like meeting the people in person. And I've been on a live stream before. I had been to some events prior to that. And then I've been on, I think, one live stream, and I just wanted to be there. I mean, they're so electric and electrifying when you're there. It's like, oh, I wish I could have gone. I wish I could have gone, And that is one good thing that the company that we're in, it does afford us sometimes at the last minute to provide a live stream of the event. But then you don't get the VIP day. You don't get to be there in person, especially if you're all in. You're going to miss that portion of being there. And again, just going to events, it's like if you're invited to a dinner and you know that there's a really good cook that's going to be serving, or you've heard about this really good chef or a really good person, and a friend of yours invited you. They're a good cook, but they're not as good as this celebrity chef that they've hired to cater or to serve you firsthand. And would you want to miss that? No, you want to be right there at the table eating all that delicious food. So for us, it's the same thing. We can savor the things that we're learning, take it down, put it in notes. And like I said, the highlight of the events is meeting people in person, networking, And that's how we all came together, again, is by an event, meeting each other, deciding that this is what we want to partner with, we want to do together, so that we can get people to see who we are, to know what our brand is about, to know us as a group, but also as individuals, and that they might like our personalities or what we have to say, what we have to offer. They can relate to us, and they could join us. So, yes, leave a comment, click below. There's a free ebook that you can get. There's a way to join our business. I think it says a green button that says Join Me. But Ian, since you're so quiet, what else do you have to say?
Keep failing. Keep failing.
Huh?
I think you're saying keep
failing. Keep failing forwards, and you're going to get one step closer to where you're about to go, because you know that it's inevitable. Because when you go to events, you get that feeling of inevitability about what's about to become. So, you know, it's the law of attraction, it's the law of action. Actually, you know, you got to take the action, you got to fail first before you can get to where you want to be. And everyone that's been successful, like everyone's just said on this hangout, that it's like being who's successful in what you would call success. It's like whatever success means to you, like Neil just said, but like, you know, each one of them's been through failures before they get to where they want to be. So keep failing, and you'll get one step closer to where you want to be. So
that's true. That's absolutely.
If you want to fail sooner, then click on that green button, and then you can get.
Yeah, that's so true. Go and click that link below that says yes, let me in, because we already said as far as helping better brand yourself, so you're not looking like what Neil said earlier, as far as just blasting your Facebook profile and just really turning off everybody in your friends list. But actually, when you click below, like we mentioned earlier, that will help you better brand yourself using the iPass system as well. And then it'll take you to the steps as far as what we were mentioning earlier. What is it that you want? So you got to have ready as far as your why, because it will ask you that within the system too. Then in the back end, that's now you're getting a part of our company that we were talking about earlier too. So now you can actually have your own blog platform, because that's going to be your headquarters. Get your story out there as well, as far as what is it that you love to share, as far as what we're talking about. What's that burning desire that you have kept inside too? Put it out there. Guess what? It's on a blog platform too, and it's yours. So people can just go and find out more information to you, find out more information about it, what you do, and just be nosy. I mean, hey, people are always watching. People are always watching. So that's something that we want to mention as well too. That's what's in it. Which is, again, the iPass system within it. Again, it's $47. Once you do click that link too, that's going to give you that branding. Then the back end, now we have the Empower Network. That's our part of our company as far as having that blog system as well. If I'm not mistaken, I think it was $25 for our blog platform as well to get started. But again, iPass will tell you everything as far as, okay, this is what you're looking for. This is probably what you need to hit too. Now obviously, it's not perfect, but I mean, you have to basically be clear about what you want. That's what we've been stating this whole time tonight. So it's not so much, it doesn't matter about the exact system as far as, okay, what is it that you want to, and this thing's just a vehicle that's going to help you. So basically, it's basically two systems and one to help you and find out exactly what it is you're kind of clear about. So that's one thing I just want just to mention as well. Anything other last words as well before we get this thing underway and roll out slowly?
Yeah, mine was just what you mentioned there about when people say about success, and so many people think that all the successful people have basically just got started and somehow they managed to hit the road running, and little realizing that the amount of failures that they've had in the past. And if you're talking about paid marketing, just as a concept, they say that for an average of 4 out of 10 campaigns are successful. So that's a 60% failure rate. So that just goes to show that even though, just as a concept, failures still happen regardless of what you're talking about. This is just on an advertising concept. But you can have all the experience in the world. That doesn't mean to say you're never, ever going to fail. I mean, you are in public what you've practiced years in private. You tell me one person, again, come back to our company founder. he started this business, not this business, he started in the network marketing business in 2002. He didn't start seeing success until 2009. 7 years. So, you know, it's not something where people get started and suddenly they start hitting the ground running. Yes, that does happen. I'm not saying that that doesn't, and that's not saying that that can't happen to you. What I'm saying is, don't be discouraged thinking that that's what you need to get everything ready. You need to know all this. You need to know all that. Just, like I say, make the decision to get started. Have a clear, compelling reason of what it is you're trying to achieve, what it is you're trying to do, and then just speak that vision and start moving forward, because it's only by doing something that you're actually going to gain more experience. And again, coming back to the failures, you're only going to have success when you start failing, because it's through knowing what doesn't work you actually start realizing what does work. And you know, again, I don't know anybody who's actually got started and never failed. They've just literally tried and tried and tried and tried and tried. And I'll tell you something, actually, something that I recently found out. Coca-Cola, multi-billion-dollar company. Did you know they only sold 19 cans? I think it was 19 cans in their first year. Now you think about that. 19 cans. That's probably what? One every 19 days. One can every 19 days. How many people would give up in the first year saying, you know what, this don't work? But now you look at them, they persisted because they knew what the inevitable outcome was. They knew that everything else was irrelevant. I don't care, I'm going to make this work, and regardless of what it takes. And now look at what they've achieved. So, you know, at the end of the day, it's just making the decision and just thinking, you know what, I'm going to do this because I don't care what it takes. I'm just going to do it, and regardless of how many failures I have, the more failures I have, the more I'm going to succeed. And you know what? A great sportsman actually said that, Michael Jordan. He's actually alluded saying failures is actually what's helped me succeed, because it's through sheer persistence. It actually helps you to become the person you want to become. You say that you want to do something, and then you start encountering these failures, these setbacks. That's going to test your resolve to say whether you actually want to achieve it. Because if you just walk away at the first attempt, how much do you really want it? That's the question. And if you walk away on the first attempt, it really can't be that much, because if you want to do it, you will find a way. And like I say, so many people before us have actually found a way for it to succeed. So it's not that it doesn't work; it does work. Find a way.
And that again, Neil, is the going to events solidify that. You know, it's real proof and evidence that it can be done, because all the people there, they're at different stages of their success. Some have just joined, some have been in for a while, some are still trying to figure out how to do the business, and there's some that are successful. Like I said, they're on stage, they're getting their $1 million rings and everything. So it just really helps to see. It's a visual, tactile thing to see that there's all these other people here that have the same struggle. Well, not the same. Like I said, everybody's individual struggle is different, but they get a chance to see a huge audience. We had maybe over about 2,000 people there, maybe, and they all were looking for something. They were looking for a way to make money and make money online. So there is a huge potential and huge market out there of people that we can market our businesses to, that have the same dreams, hopes, and goals as we do. So that's why, you know, going to an event, seeing it live and real, it's again, like I said, I use the word electrifying. It's just wonderful to feel the energy that we all have and the same passion to get our businesses up and running if we're new, or to have the success if we've been in for a while. So, I enjoy going to events. And for me, again, not only the notes, taking that and cashing it in on the notes, but again, I like to take tons of pictures and videos, as you guys have known or seen, perhaps looking at my Facebook wall. And I'm going to take those and I'm going to put those on a blog and market that, because, you know, there's a limited amount of people eyeballs that have seen that on Facebook, but I've got the other platforms too that I'm going to share it on, that people can go back to and refer. And like you said, who was it that said, is it Andre? You said, once you've got a video out there and you put it up on YouTube, which I've got to upload all those videos on YouTube, who knows who can find it? You're putting the right keywords in, you're putting whatever people are curious and interested. I'm getting people now that are asking me about my business because of my videos that I'm putting in. What is it that you do, or what do you do? Like you said, and some people, they still don't know what I do either. Well, and you could say I'm a blogger. Well, what is that? And that's our chance to have a dialogue and conversation with them and see perhaps they might want to join the business. And getting people to join you, you're not chasing them, but they're coming to you by you posting things of interest.
Yep, that is so true. Anything else too here in the panel before we go and end this? Because I'll say something real quick as well too. And this is not so much as far as just decide just to join us as well, because like we said earlier, we prefer you to be very clear what you're doing to come and join, and then come join our team. Because this is now a little bit bragging on my part, but the next event here, we're less than 90 days out from the next event, will be in my hometown state. So that's one thing I get to kind of be bragging about, down in O-Town, Orlando. I'm pumped up about that. It's only less than 2 hours from Jacksonville, so I'm real pumped up about that. So yeah, we just throwing it out there right now, because yeah, we do want to see what we have coming about here in the next few days, and we have a lot. We have a lot. We're not going to mention that here right now tonight, but just stay tuned. Just stay tuned. Like I said, just go and click that link. Yes, let me in too, so you can be a part of our team as well, and then get ready for go and get everything set up too, and within your own back office, and then click that event ticket for the next event, because we will be in Florida next event in later part of October. So I'm stoked about that. I'm real stoked because that'll be like our own anniversary, because that's when we first met a year ago. It'll be a year ago that month when we first met, and that's basically when we came about to meeting. It was 3 months later after that. That's when we met Neil and Patricia as well, and that's when we decided just to go and form this group all together. So that's just another thing as far as we take action too. Again, that's the later part of the action steps. But again, we can't do anything for you unless you find out exactly, you're crystal clear as why you want to go and join us as well.
Join us. Click the link below and get on our email list. Join us here. And
Keep
we
it
can
simple
talk
and
all
just
about
take
it.
action.
Yes, take action. Andre, any specialties in Florida that you're going to cook for us when we get down there? Joins us?
Shoot. Stay tuned. But in all seriousness, guys, we enjoyed you watching. Comment below if you did get value from this as well. You about to say something, Ian? Oh, okay. I thought you were about to say.
No, we're just saying, just take action, and don't. There's no point overthinking something to think that you need to have reasons why, or need to know all the secrets before you get started right away. And we'll see you next week on the inside.
That is so true. So with that being said, we'll see you guys same time, same place next week, 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Out there 3 p.m. Pacific Time too, and out there in the UK 11 p.m. their time, here in Neil's time. So with that being said, we will see you guys next week.
See you later, guys.
Bye.